Further grievances?
Madam Deputy Speaker, I'd like to address a grievance to the Minister for Water, and I thank the Minister for taking my grievance, which relates to water supply in Chittering. Bindoon is a community of 1,000 people located 90 kilometres north of Perth. It's the major centre in the Shire of Chittering with a population of 4,900 and is growing rapidly. The Shire of Chittering has consistently in recent years had an annual growth rate of 4.5%, well ahead of the state average. There are, however, a number of water-related factors that are severely limiting that growth. Water infrastructure in Bindoon needs updating and there's no public water supply allocation for the town. Bindoon is the only town in the Shire of Chittering with a reticulated water supply, but its water infrastructure is in desperate need of upgrade. Twice in the past 12 months, the town's water supply has failed and supplies have had to be trucked in. On 5th of July 2013, a sand pressure filter failed and it's 21 days before the town's water supply could be restored. A further filter problem occurred earlier this year on February 10 when a pressure valve failed due to a surge in water pressure. It was a week before the repaired filter was able to be commissioned. The Water Corporation is yet to fit an improved new filter valued at $100,000. I am deeply concerned a town of this size can lose its supply of potable water twice in 7 months, and further still at the height of summer when demand for water is great and risk of bushfire is heightened. Water supplies from Bindoon are crucial in the event of a bushfire in the Shire of Chittering, which DFAS considers at extreme fire risk. More recently, the town's water main burst on the morning of April 30 and supplies were disrupted for 5 hours. Bindoon's water infrastructure needs were outlined in a report by SKM entitled Bindoon Water Supply Planning 2010, and understand that a single 100mm asbestos line supplies the town with no backup. SKM raised the size, suitability and capacity of this water main as an issue in their report of 2010. I've been informed that none of the recommendations detailed in that report have in fact been addressed. Infrastructure upgrades for production, treatment and delivery of water are required. Those matters aside, the real impediment for growth and development in the town of Bindoon is the lack of available water. Bindoon's water supply is limited due to the lack of allocation for public water supply, coupled with the fact that all available water in the Shire is held by water traders with access rights to 1.3 gigalitres of water. It's assumed that water allocation was originally granted to these licence holders for agricultural purposes, allowing the water now to be traded, provided it's no longer used for agriculture. As there's no incentive to develop their water holdings, nor any requirement to do so in a given time frame, these licence holders are warehousing the water and waiting for the highest bidder in the form of a commercial property developer. Property development is thwarted in the Shire with no funds expended on infrastructure owing to this lack of development. It's not a new issue. In the Department of Water's report number 73, Bindoon Chittering Water Reserve Drinking Water Source Protection Plan, July 2007, acknowledged the future water allocation for Bindoon Chittering area needed to be addressed. WAP Statutory Planning Committee resolved to support the provision of reticulated water to the Bindoon town site in its 2008 document establishing priorities for water supply in the Shire of Chittering. The draft Gingin groundwater allocation plan released for comment in August 2013 confirmed the absence of an allocation for public water supply in the town now and into the future. The only water trade that has occurred in the Bindoon Chittering area took place in 2008 and involved a water allocation trade between Leonard Brook Farms, Water Corporation, Department of Water and the Shire of Chittering. This trade more than doubled the town's present allocation from 280 megalitres to 643. Water Corporation agreed that they will not supply the water until Leonard Brook Farms enter into an agreement with each developer. And property developers seeking approval from the Shire of Chittering must enter a trade with Leonard Brook Farms in order to gain council support and subdivision clearance. A developer is rarely willing to go down the path of first securing a deal with a water trader who is free to set the water price per kilolitre as they see fit. There is then the matter of paying Water Corporation for the headworks and in addition paying for internal infrastructure costs necessary in providing reticulated water. These costs borne by the developer are passed directly on to the prospective landholder. If we take the Shire of Chittering's development of Lot 62 Great Northern Highway as a case in point and assume the developer secures an allocation of around 425 kilolitres per block, the price of the block would have to reflect the added cost of the water trade. If we price water at $16 a kilolitre, then the prospective landholder would have to pay $6,800 per block. At $32 a kilolitre, the block price increases by $13,600, simply because the developer has to secure a water allocation. That's a cost impost that's unique to Bindoon and is an obvious inhibitor of growth. Problems are not confined to Bindoon. Other developments in Chittering are being stifled by the lack of available water. The recently released Central Midlands Sub-Regional Economic Strategy, prepared in collaboration with the Wheatbelt Development Commission, notes that the major inhibitor to growth in the Chittering Shire in the horticultural section is a lack of groundwater security, and the capacity of current reticulated potable water infrastructure is an inhibitor for industry and residential purposes. The strategy notes that many rural residential lots are not connected to reticulated potable water services, and residential lot sizes are larger to accommodate this factor, resulting in inefficiencies for local government servicing these residential lots. Among actions deemed to be necessary to allow the Shire of Chittering to leverage economic opportunity was the need for the Shire Department of Water and Water Corporation to develop water infrastructure plans and to establish water trading agreements with local traders. And how sad is that? The Moore Shane Employment Node Structure Plan, a WAPC document, outlines plans for a 1,113 hectare development near the junction of the Great Northern Highway and Brand Highway to meet the growing demand for industrial land in the North East Corridor. Directions 2031, a WAPC document, estimates an additional 69,000 people and 42,000 jobs in that northeastern sector in the next 20 years. The provision of water and wastewater services is listed as a development constraint in the Employment Node Structure Plan and identifies water trading as the most efficient means of delivering water to the Shire. The need for an innovative water supply is outlined with an acknowledgement that the Employment Node development will be not dominated by low water users, with water sourced locally from the Leederville Formation with supplementation from rainwater. One developer who was ready to invest millions of dollars in the employment mode has now balked at the prospect of bringing water to the development. Despite the clear demand for water, the current trading system does not appear to be working in the Shire of Chittering. Government intervention is required to ensure the Shire of Chittering has sufficient public water available and to prevent the warehousing of water by licence holders, a situation that is impeding development. I think it appropriate that government exercises its right to request unused water allocations be returned. I call on the Minister to right the situation and enable enhanced growth in the Chittering Shire.
Right, Minister.
Thank you, Member for Moore, for raising this issue and for your ongoing work to address this very serious issue of concern in your electorate. I know that both yourself and the Honourable Martin Aldridge have been working very closely with the Water Corporation, myself, and the Shire to resolve the issue. And listening to the points that the member has made this morning, I understand that there is concern about the Water Corporation's performance in terms of its infrastructure and the ongoing supply for the...
Minister, talk to the chair, please. Thank you. Sorry,
Mr Speaker, I'll address my comments to you. I do understand that the member is concerned about the ongoing supply of water to the broader Shire. Such is the concern that we do have representatives from the Shire in the gallery today, and I hope that we can continue to work with them to resolve the matter. I'll start with the infrastructure, Mr Speaker. The Water Corporation owns and operates the Bindoon Chittering water supply scheme, and over the past 12 months there's been 5 asset-related failures in that scheme that have resulted in a loss of service for over greater than 2 hours. And that includes a large water main burst along the Great Northern Highway in April 2014 that affected more than 200 customers in the town, and it occurred as a result of high pressures experienced in the pipe network due to a rock impacting on a pressure-reducing valve in the supply main. So a rock filter upstream of the pressure-reducing valve has now been installed to reduce the risk of this happening again. And since 2013, the Water Corporation has also experienced 2 failure events at its water treatment plant, which have obviously had an impact on the community's confidence in the water supply and the ability for Water Corporation to deliver that water. The first occurred in late 2013 and involved a failure of the steel water filter due to an internal corrosion event. And to recover the supplies quickly, this filter was replaced from another supply scheme elsewhere, and it was replaced with a fiberglass unit. Now, unfortunately, in February 2014, in a completely unrelated event, that replacement fiberglass filter also failed, and the filter unit was repaired and returned to service within 7 days, but understandably has created concerns in the community about the capacity for the Water Corporation to provide this vital service. As a result, the Water Corporation completed a detailed investigation of the second failure, and it concluded that it was the result of pressure exceeding the limit of the replacement valve. So following on from this, We've had numerous changes to pipework and other settings at the water treatment plant to try and mitigate and prevent this from happening again. And during the events, the Water Corporation, I might say, maintained supplies to the town by carting water, which in the view of some people in the community is probably not acceptable, but the water supplies were maintained and it was done for up to 7 days. In addition to these immediate works, Mr Speaker, the Water Corporation is undertaking a number of additional improvements to ensure that we have a reliable water supply service for the customers in Bindoon, and that includes a project to install an additional filter unit to improve the efficiency and security of the filtration plant, and that's expected to be completed in August 2014. There's also a program to inspect, maintain and install new valves to enhance the management of the scheme and minimise the impact during unexpected events. So essentially that's saying that they are trying to minimise, when there is an event, the number of customers that are impacted at any one point in time. There's also a long-term program of work to deliver necessary infrastructure to service 1,200 lots in the region, and that's going to involve additional bores, an expanded water treatment plant and upgraded transfer pump stations and storages at existing sites. Now, the second problem that the member for Moore has raised is in relation to the ongoing water supply for the region, and it's around the amount of water that's available to enable development. Now, Mr Speaker, you'd understand that we have a very strong focus on regional development in this Liberal National Government, and the growth of regional communities is based on access to a high quality and a level of reliability for their water services. Currently, the Water Corporation supply scheme serves 380 lots in Bindoon, and I understand that there's an additional 70 lots, vacant lots in access of the current pipe network. According to the Water Corporation, I'm told that there have been 24 connections since 2009, reflecting an annual growth rate of about 1.3% per year. In 2010, the Water Corporation reviewed its water supply planning for the scheme to assess the capacity of the scheme, including any infrastructure requirements to meet water demand in 2015. That report, which was based on a growth rate of 2.2%, which was consistent with WAPC forecasts, found that the system could meet growth requirements in the short term. Now, the member mentioned the fact that there is actually greater growth in that region occurring than what's been predicted by WAPC. At the same time, there were initiatives introduced into the community on the demand management side, which means that we've actually seen a reduction in the amount of water per lot being used. So I congratulate the community of Bindoon for actually reducing their water use, which actually enables us to deal with short to medium term growth without having to access some of the water that the member referred to in relation to the water trade. Over the past 3 months, since the issue was raised by the member for Moore and the member for the agricultural region, the Honourable Martin Aldridge, we've reviewed this scheme again in terms of the growth available, and we understand that there is greater growth occurring, and that despite water efficiency measures, we do need to make sure we've got a long-term plan for the community. So, the Water Corporation, as a result of the demand management, estimates that there's an additional 47 million litres of water available to support further development, and based on current usage patterns, we can cater for growth and expand the scheme by approximately 165 new residential lots. I know that the Shire and the Water Corporation have been meeting regularly, and I undertake to make sure that that continues to happen, because we do understand how important this is, and reports back to me that this has been very beneficial. In specific reference to the trade arrangements, given that the Water Corporation believe that they can accommodate this growth in the short to medium term, I've asked the Water Corporation to go back and look at their long-term planning, and that includes their arrangements with the water trade person that they've been dealing with. So I've asked them to review the arrangements for the long-term security of the water supplies. It was done in good faith when the trades were done it was a low-cost option into the long term. We now have the capacity to deal with that in the short term, and so I give an undertaking and thank the member for raising the issue today.